Yo, what's going on YouTube? It's your boy Light back with another YouTube video, and in today's video we're going to be doing Book of Boba Fett Season 1 review here on the channel. So yeah, just recently Book of Boba Fett just recently wrapped up. It just finished. And finally I'm going to be doing my reviews. I said this in my Peacemaker video as well. I'm not going to be doing any more or weekly episode reviews. Instead, I'm just gonna review everything as a whole. Instead, I just feel like it's way better and way easier for people to find as well. That's another thing too. Uh, so yeah, you can just watch one thing to get my total opinion on everything. So yeah, quickly let's get into it. And then I also might be doing like update videos. So technically, it'd be like two reviews kind of thing. Cause then I will do a one where essentially, I'm essentially I essentially rewatch everything and then check if my opinion still holds or whatever. So yeah. Anyways, let's get into it. So yeah, Book of Boba Fett to me was a pretty cool show. I did enjoy certain aspects of it, but definitely it lacked in a few different things. Firstly, I want to get into it. It did give us some good classic Star Wars moments, but I mean, at what cost? I gotta say. Anyways, also warning, spoilers ahead for the whole show. So yeah. Anyways, let's get into it. Let's go for section number 1, which is gonna be acting. Now, acting was actually it was decent. I'm gonna say like nobody was like some Oscar worthy performance or anything, but it was pretty good. It's what it needed to be and stuff. Again, this is Star Wars. They don't really focus too much on acting like that. So yeah. But I mean, Luke Skywalker, he did appear in it, and I felt actually that pertains to visual effects again. Um, my apologies about that. Sorry. That pertains more to visual effects and stuff like that. Um, yeah. Anyways, continuing on with that. So acting wise, I'd honestly give it like a 6 out of 10. I mean, it's pretty decent. It's not a big problem, but I'm not gonna like hold that to them or anything like that. So yeah. Next up we have pacing slash episode scale. Actually, I want to do this first. Action. Action was actually the really fun part of the show. I actually really liked the action. Action was pretty solid. I'd give that an easy like 8 out of 10. It was pretty solid. I did enjoy it. It was pretty good. Like I never was like, oh, I hate the action scene or something. Like it sucked or something. No, it was pretty good. Now we get into like the nitty gritty type things. First of all, character wise, it did have a lot of good characters, but here's where it comes into a problem. Now, it felt as if actually this gets into pacing slash episode scale. For the certain amount of episodes, it was very Boba Fett centric, as it should be. It's his show. But then we move into like episode 5 and 6, and literally he had no screen time. He had like what was it, like a minute or two of screen time in those 2 episodes. So that was pretty bad. Again, I have my honest opinions about that, but I mean, yeah, for that reason, like it kind of fell off. But I mean, at the same time, those two were really good episodes, and probably my personal favorite of the series, and they don't even include Boba Fett. So that's the part where it's like what the hell was going on and stuff like that. That's like one of the biggest parts into that, and that's where it kind of lacks a bit. Is it doesn't feature Boba Fett at all in those episodes. I felt it's good to have those episodes, like it's fun, but I mean, in all reality, in all honesty, I don't know if they're doing that to appease the fans or what they're trying to do, but I mean, that stuff should have probably been saved for like Mandalorian season 3. Uh, Maybe episode 6's stuff or set off. sorry, episodes 5 stuff was maybe alright, borderline fine, but we should not have been seeing Grogu or Luke Skywalker or Ahsoka. We shouldn't have been seeing that. That should have been saved for season 3. But I guess it was like that on purpose because maybe they have only certain time to really film with their visual effects staff or something. I have no clue what the deal is there. I'm not really with, like, I'm not employed at Lucasfilm or something. I don't know what's going on there. But I mean, yeah, again, that's where it kind of lacks off. Uh, but I mean, it was solid. It was a solid show throughout. Just again with that current issue, that's about it though. Um, yeah, so I mean, it goes like it honestly would I would say it goes straight up if it was like a really good it goes straight up if it was like a really good show just in general. But if we're talking just Boba Fett's parts and stuff, it goes like it goes right up and then goes right down fast. But I still did enjoy the pacing and stuff. The pacing was pretty or I mean at the start it was a little bit slow, but I mean towards the end it picked up pace fast, so that was pretty good. Now in terms of characters, I didn't enjoy the inclusion of like the Mandalorian. I thought that was pretty fun to see that Mandalorian and Boba Fett team up. That was pretty cool. As well as Cad Bane, that was pretty interesting. Uh, Fennec Shan was pretty interesting. Chrysanthemum was pretty interesting. So yeah, I'm curious to see where they go with those certain characters. Like what I'd like for maybe perhaps an origin story for some of these characters eventually. I don't think they're doing a Boba Fett season 2. I think it'll just most likely be in like the Mandalorian or something. If they do origins and stuff, so that's what I'm thinking might happen instead. Uh, so like I'm not really sure about Boba Fett season 2 or something like that. I'm not really sure right now, but yeah, it was interesting to see all these characters. Some of my favorite bounty hunters were in this show and stuff like that, which is pretty cool to see that happen. In terms of writing, I thought it was decently well written. I want to say this right off the bat. Like, I don't know if it's fair to really judge the show based on it. Technically, it was a Book of Boba Fett episode, but it feels as if it wasn't because he wasn't even in the episode. Which is episodes 5, 6, and sorry, 5 and 6. Those were like top tier Star Wars right there. Like that was really, really well written. Like I really loved those episodes. They were awesome. Like just the heart that went into it. It just felt callbacks and all. Like it was really cool to see all that happening. It just sucks that it was put in this episode. I mean, this show instead of Mandalorian season 3. That's what they should have put it in. But I mean, I guess it's all right. It's not a big problem. But yeah. Uh, in terms of writing for the some of the other characters, it was pretty good. Uh, the stuff with Chrysanthemum kind of dropped a little bit. Like it was very predictable. It's what was about to happen. Like I mean, you didn't have to read any comics or you didn't have to do anything to know that. Like you could have just this could have been your first time watching Star Wars and you would have guessed, or maybe you couldn't. Maybe it's just me, but honestly, it was a little bit predictable that he was just gonna go on his team. Like I felt like as soon as they kicked Chrysanthemum off the huts, off working with the huts, I felt as if I already knew that like Boba Fett's probably gonna go with them. And then here comes the next thing. That was pretty interesting to kind of see as well. Sorry, Cad Bane. Like again, that was my childhood. I really enjoyed him in my childhood, and I felt as if in this show they did him pretty well. I mean, I thought it was pretty good. Uh, they did a pretty good job. And was that the right call to kill him off? Sorry. Yeah, I definitely do think so. That was a good way to kind of resolve his story. Kind of like the master going over his sorry, the apprentice going over his master and stuff like that. I thought that was pretty interesting to definitely see that happen. I really enjoyed that a lot. Personally, my favorite, one of my favorites. So yeah. Now in total, and like just closing remarks quickly. I just want to speak about this quickly. I know the show. I'm pretty sure the reason why they were making so much tie-ins and stuff is I know they're trying to make some sort of like end game type Star Wars thing or something with the Mandalorian and all these shows. So I think that's really what this show was meant to do, but it was still a pretty solid show. I did like seeing Boba Fett. He's one of my favorite bounty hunters and everything. One of my favorite characters in general in Star Wars. He's pretty cool. Uh, Again, I guess that's what the show was really meant to be, and if it really was, it actually did a spot on job. I thought it did well enough with connecting everything. It sucked that Boba Fett got so little screen time in those some of those episodes. So that's another thing with that. But I mean, or one thing with the writing as well, I thought it did a good job of explaining exactly what happened and everything. That was good to know, as well as why he acts like this and stuff. That was pretty interesting to kind of see. Now, in my opinion, I'm gonna be straight up. In terms of all the Star Wars shows so far, which is the 2 seasons of The Mandalorian, Bad Batch, Clone Wars season 7, and this, I'd rank it just before the Bad Batch. So essentially dead center. Or actually no, not yeah, dead center essentially. It's behind the 2 seasons of The Mandalorian. So that's just my opinion on that. I'm not sure if they're making a season 2 or not. In terms of rating and stuff, I'd rate it a solid probably 8 out of 10, maybe 7.5. But it was a decent show and stuff, so yeah. Hopefully, maybe it gets to season 7. I have no clue. But if it does, I'll of course watch it, see what's up, and yeah. Anyways, that's pretty much it though. Thanks for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next video. Peace.